Oh, brother Rob, what's up, folks? I'm right back in this joint. What's going down? What's going down? Oh, Deuce Time hit me up. Oh, he wants to do the rap show later on. Let me see. Let me tell Deuce. I don't know if he tuned in, listening to me. Give me 1 second, folks. Let me hit my cousin Deuce Time. Or I can hit him after a while. Let me see. Let me get into the topic. And let's go into this topic, man. This is about boxers who should retire in 2026. And this includes promoters and sanctioning bodies that need to just hang it up and be cut out the mix. But that's for fighters, for these special fighters to go about the rejection of these sanctioning scumbags. As the topic has started to be raised, and is going up about the sanctioning bodies and the disdain that the people who it should matter the most to, being the fighters, that they do away with this crap, and especially not paying these fools. And that's the God honest truth. They don't set a standard on ranking. Don't even know what a ranking system in boxing even mean. It doesn't mean two bits of shit. And this fighters can go about doing what the hell they want. They don't have to fight these dudes that these people put out here. I don't think the sanctioning bodies do that much of a job to put an end to that. So I just don't know what the purpose of a sanctioning body is. But fighters who tend to fight once a year aren't fighting the best of competition. Fighters who are extremely inactive, they should consider leaving the sport for 2026. They should definitely think about leaving the sport. And those fighters include Canelo, who avoided the one fighter, in my opinion, that I think he should have given the opportunity to fight, and that being David Benavidez, who he ran from as clear as goddamn day. Went in there and embarrassed the hell out of himself and taking on the challenge of fighting a guy who has been campaigning at the welterweight division, that went in here and smoked Canelo, made Canelo look trash. That also puts an eye on these other fighters that have been involved in fights with Canelo, who've always come into being dominated by Canelo, intimidated by Canelo. And here you have a guy who is from a smaller division that's going up here and dominates Canelo. And therefore, Canelo looks horrific to his fans and most staunch supporters. And this is like, man, get this dude the hell up out of here. It's time for Canelo to hang it up. Uh, I think Canelo definitely has a Hall of Fame career, but Canelo has come to this point to where he's been behaving too much like a prima donna. And I think it's time for him to find his way on up out of the game. Get the hell up out of here, hang that shit up, right off into the sunset. But I think fans have come to a point where they've seen enough of Canelo. There's no more need for Canelo. Also, got to throw one of my former favorite fighters in this list as well. Fighters who need to be gone, and this fact that this dude has found himself on the the wall of shame with drug cheats, and that being one of my favorite fighters in Sabril Matias. He need to get his ass about the sport too. It's time to hang it up, get on, enjoy yourself in Puerto Rico. Go be a Puerto Rican thug or Puerto Rican, what's that, reggaeton rapper or some shit, or barber. You like doing all that hair coloring shit. Go on and do that shit. But as far as you, at one point when the iron was hot, didn't strike, then you find yourself going into this regression in your career. Once you end up getting paid, get yourself in a big contract, and then it just blows up. The other fighter who should be going in 2026, Tank Davis, who should be at the top of that shit, should have opened up speaking on that fool, is Tank Davis. He's a dude who definitely should hang it up. Uh, Go off to being I don't know what to be, man. Go out there and work on your technique against how to put the best hook on a chick or some shit. Like, but us in boxing, it's time for Tank Davis to be gone. I don't think there's any thrill for Tank Davis fight. I think when Jake Paul kicked Tank Davis to the fight, that was the end of the road for him. Nobody cried over Tank Davis not being over there. Nobody was looking for Tank Davis. And I think the fighters who Tank Davis who fans wanted Tank to align themselves more with, people don't even consider them fights. They can give two damns about Tank. Lamont Roach can go off and find his rematch, being that he put on a great event, him and pit bull, go ahead and run that shit back. But you can make your money without Tank Davis. I think Tank Davis' value in the sport is dead, it's gone. And Tank Davis for the love is gone. And Tank Davis should definitely see his himself the hell up out the sport. Deontay Wilder is another fighter who should probably retire after 2026. If he gets the fight against Alexander Usyk, hopefully he gets paid very well. But if it's a dominating, embarrassing defeat, hopefully he retires and finally gets the memo for that one and let the sport go. The other American heavyweight, I think all American heavyweights who were hot at one point should definitely retire. I think the Jared Miller should be retired from the sport. Big Baby Anderson should be retired from the sport. And as simple as that. Anthony Joshua following that damn crash. So I didn't even see you were on. Yeah. I was when I went live. I was talking about that. You had just texted me and shit. I was going to end up texting you back after I was talking for a little bit. But yeah, we can do it. We can do a music show later on. We can do it 10 o'clock. But the fact that Anthony Joshua following that car crash, which is unfortunate, him coming off that big win against what's the fool he broke the jaw of, Jake Paul. I think Anthony Joshua hang that shit up. That's your last hoorah. Whatever the hell happened in that situation, why y'all crashed, I don't get it. You rolled in a vehicle, a high-end Lexus vehicle that should have had a ton of safety features in it, and y'all run into a parked goddamn truck. I don't get that shit. How severe the injuries were from a physical standpoint, they're definitely probably going to be there from a mental standpoint. Hang that shit up, bro. Hang it up. Give it up. Tyson Fury should stay retired. Nobody gives a damn about a Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua fight. Both of these fighters need to stay retired. Get the hell up out the way. Alexander Usyk is ready to get the hell up out the way. He's going to take on Wilder, so that way he has all the names within his time period that he'll knock off the damn pedestal. He'll fight every fighter that had existed in this era in which he competed from a heavyweight standpoint, and regardless of one of them being past their prime, he'll do the Rocky Marciano thing. This will be his version of Rocky fighting Joe Louis, is him getting in the ring with Deontay Wilder. And it's just simple as that. But get them all up out of here. It's time to cleanse the whole heavyweight division. Usyk can go off in the record books. Wilder will be in the record books. They won't be forgotten. It just comes a time where certain people just have to learn when to exit stage left. And I think these are definitely dudes who need to exit stage left. I think Teofimo goes into this Shakur Stevenson fight and he gets dusted off and Shakur makes easy work for him. It's time for Teofimo to hang that shit up too. Get the hell up out the game. Say goodbye. Go off and do something else. Go become a break dancer or a background dancer for like J-Lo or some shit. But yeah, get him up out the game as well. It's over with for him. And then also the other thing, man, where the hell is Brian Norman Sr. at? He been quiet than a mug, man. It just seems eerie as hell not hearing him run out here, talk the shit that he talks and not seeing him anymore. This shit is odd as hell that he's not out here campaigning or talking big shit, regardless of the loss, man. Get back out here. But a lot of these dudes, they need to be gone. 2026 should be the year of cleaning out the sport. This should be the year in which Turkey Alex Sheik and that little punk Dana White really start to fucking mash the gas on whatever the plans, visions, and dreams of this new promotional outfit that they have running the box. And this time they hit the ground running. Full steam ahead. Run over all these fools. Get the top ranks away. Even though we ain't heard nothing from Bob and he probably in hospice or some shit. Get them the hell up out of here. Implode Top Rank. Get that shit far the hell up out of here. Matchroom is done. Anthony Joshua's car accident was the death of Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. Get him gone far away from here. Get him far away from here. I don't know. Leave this in the hands of Turkey and Dana White. See what they do. Unless you get some new I don't know, a new wave of young American business folks who are really going to put passion into the sport of boxing, to really give care to the sport of boxing, also give it to fighters that are really going to get out here and put passion towards their discipline. Other than that, man, get all these fools up out of here. I'd rather watch Japanese Monster Inoue fight than the rest of these dudes. Monster Inoue's out here fighting. He getting 4 fights in, fighting champions, whooping ass, kicking ass. If you want him to re-glove his hands because you're crying about the little pads under the damn wraps, then he'll take that shit off, re-glove it, put it the way you want it, and then go out there and still kick ass. We need more of him. He got other relatives or people in his dojo, then get them out here in the sport. Because the rest of these fools want to fight one time a year, get paid, then they go meet Yasmin Lopez and shit, have kids, and then get pimped. Because that's the other thing crazy about the story I just read and then talking about these boxers. A lot of these boxers is getting Yasmin Lopez and shit by Taz Angels and shit. Like the hell, man, come on, man. It's time to clean boxing out. Make boxing great again. And making boxing great again is clearing the shit out. Clean this shit up. That's even like when you look at the NFL, all these sports is garbage. You even look at the NFL, they in their old ass, past prime ass people having to be brought back into the sport because these younger fools ain't taking passion in their sport. They trash. The gold digging pretty hoes is fucking these fools' game up. Fools can't focus. Ain't got no game about them. And then Puerto Rico Rum in the building, salute. Lassie Cuss says, what up? Says sometimes boxing conversations with Brokey Owens, man. And then Velocity Cuts is a dude, you shouldn't be using the word brokey. That's for what's that light skinned chick? What's that light skinned chick with that song? Little pretty chick. What's her name? Damn, what is that girl name? See, I tell you how much I don't listen to that music because I'm a fucking dude. Her name is damn, what's her pretty ass name? Lola? No. Somebody write it. One of you motherfuckers gonna reveal yourself. Look, y'all don't want to write that shit because you don't want me clowning you about listening to girl music. But I know who she is. She pretty, so y'all should know who she is. Damn, what's her name? And then Puerto Rico Run says Canelo Wilder, get Pacquiao clear the fuck up out of boxing on the real. No Nito, yeah, no Nito needs to retire. No, not Ice Spice, the other chick. They've got that damn song y'all been writing, Brokey and shit. Uh, uh, and then Tank gotta go. Keith Thurman should definitely be the hell up out. It says all need to call it quits. Absolutely. I agree 1,000,000,000% with what you have on your list. Canelo, Wilder, Pacquiao, Nonito, Tank, and Keith Thurman all need to call it quits. Absolutely. No, that's that girl name, Lotto. Y'all trying to act like y'all know who I'm talking about. Yeah, Lotto, that little pretty ass chick. Y'all be listening to her music and shit. And then Deuce Time in the building. He's asking, we got a show. Yeah, we're gonna do a music show later on today. And if Lassie Cuss says former top rank prospect, Gabe Flores Jr. says should retire, says while he's still young. And Gabe Flores, I know I seen that fool fight recently and shit. But it's a lot of these dudes that need to go. A lot of these dudes need to go. We don't need gatekeepers in boxing anymore. Gatekeepers need to go. There should be no such thing as gatekeepers. We need better ranking systems that the sanctioning bodies have not established. We need people fighting based on who's in the rank. Only certain levels should be fighting each other. Not you go fighting, you got 30 fights and you fighting a person on his damn debut. We need better representation and better structure for the sport to thrive and to continue on versus people just coming in here for quick paydays because most fighters do come from this support men's sport and a lot of them come from impoverished backgrounds. A lot of people are rushing in to try to capture the mega paydays. They think they Floyd Mayweather. They want Floyd Mayweather paydays and haven't done nothing to earn that shit. These dudes can barely fill out home built arenas and shit. And then talk millions and this and that and only fight one time a year and then want some promoter to give them all the fucking money that they have put up and made for a damn fight. Like the hell with these dudes. Like the whole sport down there needs to be clear the fuck out. Even Mexican fighters who come out of Mexico fighting one time a year. They ain't never seen that shit before. These fools should be having. And then you come in this era where motherfuckers got like 20 fights and like 10-year careers and shit. Like, hell no. It ain't the thing about just watching these dudes because boxing is tough. And not to be just overly critical and acting like it's just getting out there and just jumping the ring to fight. But no, if you looking for these fools to pay you, calling yourself the best, you have to get out there and be active and compete with the rest of the guys that are out there. Because it's the way you get paid. This is the way that the sport and its events grows by getting out there, being active, getting busy with this shit. I know these, especially these dudes coming off of not being injured. They don't even fight each other, even in the ring. So how the hell are they injured? Know these says, oh shit, says now the Coke boys says gonna be on your ass, says for saying Wilder needs retired. Man, them fools know to shut up. Them fools know to stay silent when I say the truth about shit. Because they all silent about that shit that Wilder put out that I was always right about. It was right than a motherfucker, years ahead of that shit. When it came from that damn Mark Breland shit to this chick he was fucking with. You see right through all that shit. And that's probably why she was so like on him. Because I remember one of the chicks was saying, oh, look at the wife. I think that's when we were still on Fred's show when he was they was praising that what's her name? Telly when she was hugging on his leg after he had lost to Fury and shit. When he kicked everybody out and did Mark Breland the most disgusting way you can ever do in a respectable elder like that. And then LD says, oh yeah, I read that one. And then Deuce Time says, yeah, it says 10 cool, says after the Clippers game. Oh yeah, this Clipper fan ass dude. And then LD says, was the driver's fault, Reg? I haven't heard much in that story. I haven't even looked into it, but how you gonna crash the Lexus into a parked ass truck? And then Velocity Cut said, let somebody fell asleep, says Tony Yards, or Anthony Yards is another one, says he had nothing for David Benavidez. Yeah, Anthony Yards should definitely been have gone. And that's his promoter throwing him out there, and the sanctioning body's allowing that kind of shit because there's no structure to this shit. And then the other thing is about why Anthony Yards probably got the fight, because there's a number of other dudes up there turning down the fight with David Benavidez. That's probably how Anthony Yards got thrown in the hut, is because there's so many of these other fucking fighters that are that should be rated near in the rankings. They ain't good as David Benavidez should have been rated way higher than Anthony Yards, who are constantly turning down fights. Constantly turning down fights. There needs to be a better job in making sure fighters are fighting in their proper weight classes and all that shit as well. D said, never mind, says a blown tire. Oh, a tire blowout on that vehicle? How the fuck that happened if the tires are brand new? Unless they hit some shit. What, they hit a rhinoceros bone or some shit? A rhino horn was left in the road or some shit. And then Dusai says niggas fucking around in Africa, says that's what he gets. It's fucked up. he can't go to Africa. That fool is African descent, man. And then LD says, I only agree with Fury, says with Fury staying retired. Man, no, all of these motherfuckers need to retire. All of them. All of them, especially out the heavyweight division. And Usyk going to retire because he done ran through everything. He done ran through it, made easy work. He like Crawford up there. And if Vlasica says, hey, cuz, says you're not calling the boogeyman Matias versus Smith on the 10th. Matias got a damn fight. Matias should be retired. Ever since he got that money, man, he ain't been the same, man. He let that money that Eddie Hearn gave his ass go to his head, and that fool been doing all type of shit. He done fucked around and tried to use steroids, and now he got a fight. Must be on the WBC. And then Puerto Rico Rob says, Jake Paul needs to give up fighting, says, and focus on promoting. He probably do, but guess what? He the only one bringing excitement to the sport. To be honest, and that's how poor these other dudes are. Jake Paul, the only motherfucker bringing excitement to boxing, even with watching him get knocked out. The only one that has brought excitement to boxing. The rest of these dudes don't want to fight each other. They call each other out. These fools, rather than saying let's fight, these fools start threatening each other with gun violence and shit. Calling the hitman and shit. Then these dudes get mad if a person call them out, and then be talking about, man, that fighter a hater. He a hater. He hate to see me shot. Well, you supposed to kick his ass. He's supposed to call you out. Then they promoters don't be wanting to make the fight for him and shit. Like, nah, man, clear this shit out. We got a damn fool with the little from out of the middle damn east putting on these damn fight events. And even with enticing these people with money, some of them still don't want to fight. Jerron Ennis, another motherfucker that probably should retire. Jerron Ennis picks another garbage ass opponent. Jerron Ennis should retire. He need to go. He need to go. Even how easy he worked that last opponent. Didn't nobody get two damns about Jerron Ennis the next day. After Jerron Ennis beat that last opponent, nobody gave two fucks about Jerron Ennis. And even Turkey said, man, you ain't fighting over here. You gonna let Eddie Hearn pay for that shit. And guess what Jerron did? Okay. Man, what the fuck? Like, hell no, nah, man. That fool ain't about to live up to none of the shit that people thought of him. He extremely talented, but he ain't gonna challenge himself. Acosta says, Ice Spice, nope. And then Mark Summers says she didn't come up, with Brokey. And then the Velocity Cuss says 78 Cuck TV says running the fan club, says Crybaby's gay, dead, fighter of the year, fighter of the year from what? That's how irrelevant them dumbasses are if they said Devin Haney's fighter of the year. Says like they ain't see Bud Art anyway dominating 2025. Man, them fools is terrified of goddamn Bill Haney or some shit. That's what that shit is. Ain't no way Devin Haney no fight a year. Devin Haney had to fight for his fucking career. Devin Haney had to fight to kind of to resurrect his goddamn career. He ain't no fight of the year. He's back on track, getting himself to rolling full steam ahead, and now we have to see what his next opponent is. Fight of the year? Absolutely not. There ain't no way. And anyway, if anything, anyway, with 4 fights on his career, dominating fights, but Bud will have to get it with the way in which he put belt the ass on Canelo, the way he destroyed Canelo, and then this monster anyway. And Devin Haney ain't even in 3rd place. Number 3 will be fucking Alexander Usyk. The fuck these fools talking. That's why everybody clown these idiots, man. It just look bad for dudes to be kissing the ass of a young dude and shit. And then and he says shit, I listen to all types of women music. I listen to women R&B singing, the rappers, nah. And then and the Mark Summers said lots of people say Brokey says to busters like you. Yeah, you listen to the hoes. And then Picasso says Keith Thurman, yeah, definitely. Salute the sirs in the building. Mark Summers says too many busters in boxing these days. Yeah, it's too many of them. They have ruined boxing. They ruined the fuck out of boxing. Even when you thought boxing was just gonna be on this, special path, man, after Floyd retired, you had all these welterweights that were out there. And they look extremely exciting. When Keith Thurman pulled off that bullshit, faking that elbow injury to avoid Earl Spence, that was like one of the first signs that, okay, we got a little trouble here. And then you had Ryan Garcia, kept clout chasing. Then that started that kind of problem. Oh shit, everybody clout chasing. They're going to fight this and that person. Then once they start using the Instagram following bullshit, then we had a problem with that. Then dudes jocking dudes for how tight their jeans was, the tattoos, they braids. This is grown dudes highlighting these dudes having tattoos and cornrows and what kind of chains they got on and they tight ass pants and shit and how much it cost and was like, man, what the hell going on in this shit? It's like watching the girl cheerleading contest and shit. And then Alexander Wilson says no more in his Lima's fight, says which are just a giant waste of time. Yeah, it's like everything with Jerron in his career has been a waste of time, man. It's all been a waste. And Stream from Above says trash ass Canelo says needs to retire, says he has looked like pure trash lately. Yeah, he needs to go. And then from him dodging Dave Benavidez is like the most despicable thing in history, and also for his career. And that's why he got the type of ass whooping he got from Terrence Crawford. That was extremely embarrassing. And the fact that the narrative from that one is how Crawford moves up these multiple divisions, being a smaller guy, going in there and dominating the guy supposed to be the bigger and better fighter, who was high on people's pound for pound list, and watch him get beef from all standpoints, from a boxing standpoint and then even from a physical standpoint. There's nothing Canelo can do. Canelo landed the big shots on that dude. It did nothing to the dude. Last Cuss says, piece of shit Dana White says, first boxing card debut on Paramount, January 23rd, says, you calling it? I'm going to call any fights. I'm going to call all fights that seem to be good cards. Maybe not the whole card. I'll call the damn main fight. Bruce Gas in the building. What up? Steve from above says when she was with Wilder, says she was a beautiful queen. Says as soon as he played says as soon as he played him, as soon as she played him, he meant. So as soon as she played him, she became a trifling 304, says according to the knee walkers. Yeah. They was praising he got a queen, man. The Kane got a queen. The Kane gonna have 10 kids with that queen and all that other shit. That motherfucker sing right through that shit. Even though D said, so they gave Dead Fighter of the Year. He said, fools is clown. That's what somebody wrote in here. They was giving Dead Fighter of the Year, which is a far fetched ass award to give a dude who ain't deserving of it. Even though D says, no way they that dumb. Man, I believe they that dumb. I believe they would label him a Fighter of the Year. And then Mark Summers says Joshua versus Ngannou was better than that Haney fight. Yeah, that knockout, that was a crazy knockout. When was that? 24 or 23? Still from above says Teofimo weird ass says needs to disappear as well. Yeah, Teofimo needs to be gone. If Shakur go in there and dominate, beats the brakes off of him, Teofimo Lopez needs to find a new sport. He needs to go somewhere else. Maybe go into jump rope contesting. Bruce Gas says who's going to retire says when they can says who's going to retire when they can get big money fights, says not get hurt, says and do it again in 10 months. And that's what Turkey needs to start waking up from. Turkey needs to have a real heart to heart with a lot of these fighters about about how his money is going to go to fighters. You come off on some bullshit in the fight, you ain't doing this, your access to getting on my car is over with. Because Turkey and them, they put up that first investment, and a lot of these fighters think they can run over to Turkey and run the little game that Turkey knew would come from these dudes. And that's why Turkey began that shit with the way he addressed Jaron Ennis. No, I won't make that fight. You don't want to fight this person, and you think I'm gonna pay for it, you got me effed up. You better go to Eddie Hearn. And what Jaron Ennis do? He went right to fucking Eddie Hearn and took that whack ass fight. Abin LD says Mark is a mark. And then Bruce Gas says OP says salute to Abin LD. And then Velocity says same thing with Virgil Ortiz too. Get him the fuck up out of here. I think he running over there with Oscar. Get them all up out. Get Oscar out of here too. Get Virgil trash ass the hell up out of here. And he says like Virgil Ortiz the one who ruined damn, what's that little European dude? Jaron Ennis had whooped his ass. Dang, I like that fool too. What's the little white dude who was over in the PBC? Jaron Ennis whooped his ass, but he has sat on the damn bench for a long time. He been sitting dormant because of Virgil Ortiz holding his career up. Virgil Ortiz got this dude locked in a 2-year damn wait, thinking they gonna fight. He kept coming out with that almost dying and training shit. Avoided this dude. Damn, why can't I think of this damn dude name? What's the dude name? Stanionis. Thank you. Mir. Thank you. Stanionis. Sat there avoiding Stanionis. Sat his career on the shelf for 2 years and shit. Jaron Ennis said, "Oh shit, I'm gonna take that fight. But I also thought that was gonna be Jaron's toughest fight. Jaron kicked Stanionis' ass. And the Velocity Cut said, oh yeah, I read that one. Says same thing with Virgil Ortiz. Says he ducking. Says our nigga being held back. Says by Coke Boy Promotions. Get all these promotional companies out of here. Just like there should be only one belt, I guess lead the sport to one boxing promotion. To some other ones come back and do the sport right. Opin LD says great point to Bruce Gas. And then Opin LD says salute to you, Bruce Gas. TB says Canelo don't need to retire, says after losing the buzz. Says y'all tripping, says he can rebound from that. Man, F Canelo. Canelo ain't gonna fight nobody, man. It ain't even worth watching him fight anybody. He gonna fight anybody else. He should have been fought Dave Benavidez. He didn't kill the luster over that fight. He gonna go in the fight and Dave Benavidez is just gonna whoop on him. And it ain't gonna give Dave Benavidez any credit. It ain't gonna move him up. Because that or for Canelo is dead. Opnod says Nello cooked to TB. Slap my ass off. And Bruce Gas says we're the ones keeping them fighting. Says by watching them. Says still fight. Yeah, but I don't talk about these fools. I don't do none of that content on these fools. That's why I talk so much of this other shit. Because these boxing fools is garbage, homie. These boxing fools is garbage, and a lot of their fans are garbage as fuck. And the TV says you watching the Georgia versus Ole Miss game. No, I'm on here doing this shit. I was happy to watch all the teams I thought should win won and shit. Oregon kicked ass and Indiana kicked ass. I just like when Alabama lose. It's just I'm always have a feeling where I don't like Alabama. Let me see. Looking at it, 7-6 is the score. MRI comes back clean on Wimby knee. Yeah, I see. I heard Wimby almost fucked his knee up the other day. Good thing his shit coming back clear. Good thing his shit coming back clear. To advise the fans. Hey, wait, who was Aikman? Troy Aikman? Troy Aikman to advise the Dolphins on the GM search. Shit, why Troy Aikman just don't take the job then? Says and then LD says yeah I know that says I know they sorry says yeah says I know they that dumb says I was being sarcastic, and then Alexander Wilson says the Charles oh yeah, the Charles definitely got to go. I see they one training the one who girl out here doing the Telly thing. She called herself Telly too. Yeah, he need to go. Jamal and Jamel Charles need to be out of here. They need to be out of here, man, and enjoy their money. Jamal left so much money on the fucking table, man. Jamal left so much fucking money on the table. And that's why you gotta be cold as a man out here, man. That fool ruined his life and career over a broad, man. Give a fuck. You was married to her and got 1,000 kids. You don't fuck your money and your mental up over that shit. That fool has left millions, at least tens of millions of dollars on the table over losing his mind. Even let Caleb Plant smack the dog shit out of him. And nobody even cared for that fucking fight. Them dudes is way past their prime. Caleb's been suffering losses. Caleb's not the same fighter anymore. And Jamal been sitting down too damn long. Can't get his mind right. Ain't even got the same trainer anymore. We don't even know who trained him. And I doubt if a promotion want to put him in there. The dude and lost his mind. Then fucking Jamel fucked up, kinda, by jumping in the Canelo fight, but the money was there. There would have been money for him to fight Bud. And he I ain't gonna say avoided Bud, but he took on that Canelo fight. But maybe he don't want to fight Bud after he watched how easy Bud whooped Earl last. And him and Earl was probably having, you know, tug of war type sparring matches and shit. So he took that damn Canelo fight, which anybody would have took Canelo because of the money behind the Canelo fight. But he should have took that Crawford fight, got at least 2 or 3 fights out of it, unless Crawford just dominated him in a fight. But yeah, he messed. They both have left. Not Jamel. Jamel probably got broke off, but he walked away from the sport. He let Canelo whoop his ass, and the fact that he ran away from Canelo throughout that whole fight when you got Bud walking at Canelo. And then Arnold Boxer says, "What's happening, brothers?" Says, "What's happening, brothers?" Says, and the good people in the chat, salute, salute. And then Mir says, they give me the name of the fighter I was talking about who Virgil Ortiz sat on the damn bench for 2 years. And then Mir says, "What up, homie? Happy New Year's, everybody. Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's." I'm still being on the same shit. It's just a new date on the calendar. Same me, same everything. And I ain't changing shit. I don't need New Year's resolutions or whatever they call your resolutions because I'm a consistent motherfucker. So I'm gonna stay on the same shit. But Happy New Year, man. The first day, I guess is where we track the path of the earth rotating around the damn sun. That's simply it. And then Alexander Wilson says a lot of fighters have said that Turkey has pulled back, says, and is more selected on what fights he is paying for. Salute the fucking Turkey. And he says they said he ain't paying for Innocent Ortiz. Salute the Turkey. And it's about time Turkey got on that shit because these old little scumbaggery ass fucking boxers and their managers were thought they had a sucker. And that's what they was looking at. They looking at a dude with a turban on his head from out of a damn country where they pump oil out the ground. They was like, he don't know shit about boxing. We gonna pimp this fool. Because that's the thing you got to worry about within boxing, where a lot of people will play you like a sucker when they think you just blindly throwing money out at shit. And the thing from above says the thing that sucks though says that the next generation of fighters are probably going to display the same behavior as these current mofos, unless Turkey gets strict. Unless Turkey be like, I ain't paying these fools shit. You don't start getting paid with what you deserve. We'll start paying 30,000s and 100,000s, and you got to work your way up through it. A lot of these fighters, remember how the game used to be, the little boxing game, where you start off as a little hall, fighting in little ballrooms and shit, move yourself up on smaller events. These fighters thinking they were supposed to start their career out fighting in front of big ass arenas and shit. Fighting, if anything, undercard fighters on pay per view events. And then with 2 wins, they supposed to be main event fighters and shit. Pay for me to fight in front of my hometown. I done made it. What's your record? I'm 8-0. Man, get the fuck out of here. And so it's time to pull that shit back. Man, make these fools have to work. Start putting on fight events that's fought inside of little 400 seat ballrooms and shit. Make these fools have to work their way up through that and collect a number of wins. Then you move up maybe to something a little bit larger than that, moving into a bigger city and shit. Like you got to build your name up. We don't need people sponsoring you like Floyd was doing for so many guys. This is why a lot of guys got their name in this era was off of Floyd. Floyd had become such a superstar within the sport that any little endorsement from fucking Floyd, it propelled someone's career. It gave a fighter a following from fans based on, man, Floyd said this person this and that. And Floyd said blah da 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 da. And then these fools instantly become superstars in their own minds and shit. Like, come on, man. You ain't done enough to fight me. You can't even sell a dinner plate. And then Bruce Gas says plant Charlo says will be fired, says would have he meant would have been fired 2 years ago, says not no more. Yeah, that shit over with. Cause all these dudes do is sit and think the motherfucking ingredient to a big fight is letting it wait and marinate. Cause they come off that shit in the belief that that's why Canelo and no, not sorry, not Canelo. That they think that was the formula for fucking Pacquiao and Floyd being a big fight. Both Floyd and Leonard Ellerbe are two fucking idiots. They don't know shit, and they ran into that being a belief. That fight was only big because Pacquiao got a bunch of retarded ass fans that support him for whatever, and then you got a lot of people that were just spiteful of fucking Floyd and thinking since nobody else could beat Floyd, that Pacquiao be the guy to do it, regardless of watching him get knocked the fuck out the fight before that shit. And then they in here ran to the damn thing like retards thinking he was gonna lose and blew that shit the fuck up. That right after that started to be the formula that the PBC believed in. That was the formula that Floyd believed in. That was a formula that Leonard Ellerbe believed in, and then they will hold fights up. Oh, the fight's not bigger. Every time they put a mic in front of Leonard, look, none of them motherfuckers are here anymore. You put a mic in front of Leonard, it'll be fucking retarded ass face, and the first thing he say, the fight ain't big enough, and then they immediately talking this pay-per-view shit. No, it's not ready. I think both fighters need to go out there and take care of it on their end, and then we'll come back at a later time. Both of their asses fucking gone. And if Vlasica says Andrade versus Maul Charlo retirement fight, man, the hell with retirement fight. Just let him retire. You don't need to watch that shit. You ain't getting the best of things. With boxing, you should be watching that shit to get the best of shit. The only time you want to watch some old, not the best of their prime shit is to go fight Jake Paul. But to watch two fighters who are the premier dudes at this shit, nobody want to see them when they shells of themselves. And then Amir says to myself, says Reggie Owens has retired from the treadmill. Says he stated it's time for a new endeavor. Says the treadmill is no longer a part of my life anymore. Says I give up. No, I've been actually getting out there on the road and doing that. I never was a treadmill person like that. Even when I started to use, I don't like treadmills. I just standing in place, running and not seeing anything, trying to look up at the TVs in the gym, then stare at some other shit while you just running and not seeing shit. Nothing around you has changed. That's why they had those treadmills where they have the screen where environments change. I'll probably need some shit like that to ever do a treadmill. But outside of that, just running in one spot, even though I could do it, I don't like that shit. But I'll get out. If I'm going to either run or if it's a bad day, I'm going to walk. I'm going to walk at least a mile or two. And then they said, well, not a mile. At least you're gonna do 2 or 3 miles. And then Turkey done overpaying dudes, laugh out loud. As he should. Lassika says, but then again, I ain't been able to get out there and run. It's man, I was tripping when I went out to go grab something to eat. I ain't seen fog in a long fucking time. I ain't seen fog out here. I've been out here in Vegas for I don't think I ever seen fog. I've been out here for like 12 years now. Or 13 years, one of the two. I haven't seen fog in all the time I've been here. At least I don't remember. It is foggy as hell out here. I'm like, God damn, that shit kind of tripped me out. Like I ain't seen that shit since being in LA and shit. And then Vlasica says no more first day out celebration in 2026. Says parading these niggas around, says like trophies, shaking my head. Nah, I'm here talking about getting rid of all these fools in boxing. Get rid of, just clear this shit out. Change this shit. Same way we need to change the White House. Clear all that shit. Matter of fact, with the boxers need to retire, throw Trump in that shit too. Get his whole ass up out of here too. Anthony Jones says, like Keyshawn Davis thinking he deserves a Devin Haney fight. Laugh out loud. Yeah, they didn't. Keyshawn, another motherfucker. Keyshawn do some dumb shit leading up to this fight and mess off a turkey fight. Man, get him up out of here too. Get Keyshawn up out of here. Because Keyshawn got some mental health issues. He don't know how to control himself. There's impulses in Keyshawn that he don't know how to control. He's overly emotional. He's raised by a mother. So he dealing with whereas a dude, he don't know how to exhibit, a man-like mindset and the thinking right. Vasika says fact, says the marinade concept says was Al Heyman's advice. Al Heyman and Floyd. It was Al Heyman, Floyd, and Leonard Ellerby and them start pushing that shit. That's why Leonard and them used to try to keep Tank safe from everybody. Nah, we ain't ready for that Tank fight yet, man. That fight ain't even a big star yet. It need to wait. We need to wait, let it grow, and maybe 2 or 3 years. Man, nobody want to wait for you motherfuckers. And then look, Tank kicked all their asses up out of here. When the marinade date got close, Tank Davis fired all their asses. That's the only reason why Tank Davis got rid of them, because the marination date was coming up to the point where it was time to fight. So Tank got rid of everybody. He said, fuck all that shit. You ain't marinating shit. I ain't fighting these fools. But I'll fight you, Jake. If I want to fight Jake Paul. Ivan OD says, can't stand that build the fight bullshit. Absolutely not. And then Mirror says these boxers are idiots, certified idiots. They be hit in the head, so most of them dumb as hell. Motherfuckers are stupid, man. It's about the era of the dumbest fighters. They come from the post-Floyd Mayweather era. How the hell they get this stupid and thinking they deserving of what Floyd got? And then put none of the Floyd work in. When they seen Floyd when Floyd showed the ability that you can make hundreds of millions of dollars in a day from boxing, that should have motivated these other fighters to fucking fight their asses off. And they instantly turned into money Mayweather. Like, what the hell? Didn't go through none of the gauntlet of shit that Floyd went through to build themselves up. They came with pre-ready names because of Floyd acknowledged their ass. Dudes are becoming stars because Floyd acknowledged them. It's crazy as fuck. And the only ones who exceeded in this era is the ones who didn't grow off of a Floyd acknowledgement. That'd be Wilder. That'd be Crawford. Some of them who had the Floyd endorsement did blow up and shit, but they didn't reign supreme over their counterparts. They didn't. And then he says these boxers are idiots. Says nobody knows or cares enough to sit around waiting for these dudes to fight. Says not just one another. Says but fight in general. Absolutely. That's why people look forward to watching Jake Paul. Everybody want to see Jake Paul fight. They don't give a damn about these goddamn boxers. Nobody care about these fools. And then Mark Summers says, get a treadmill, says you can walk while you're talking on here. Man, that's one thing you would never, ever in life find me do. That's what y'all do. That's why these bitches get on here and y'all sit there and watch them eat. And bitch can do their hair and a bunch of dudes sitting there watching. Hey, bitch, shake your motherfucking ass. These bitches, I be like, niggas gotta be really, because I be like, I don't blame the bras for doing this simpleton ass shit. I like they got a following the dudes who sit there and watch with shit stuffed in their damn mouth. Or sit and watch these bras when they want to do their hair and shit. So Mark Summers one of them type of motherfuckers. He sit there and watch a bitch paint her nails and shit. Fucking weirdo. But I'd never do a show sitting on the treadmill. Like, fuck, I look like being a dude on live while I'm walking the treadmill and talk, man, fuck out of here. It's like laying in bed and talking to a bunch of dudes. Your audience is full of dudes, and you laid up in the bed with the camera on. Get the fuck out of here. And then Marcel, that's why I be telling you to turn your camera off too. What's the homie Steph be doing that shit? Turn the goddamn camera off. And then Mark says I used to see fog. Says more as a kid. Says I don't see it much anymore. Says only a few minutes. Only a few minutes the other day. Man, that shit is foggy as hell out here. I was tripping off of that shit. I was like, damn, I ain't seen no fog in a minute. I ain't think I ever seen fog since I lived here. And LD says you gotta have a dope playlist says for the treadmill. Nice to have dope music, but then again, you be just sitting there and ain't shit going on. Like, fuck, I'm just sitting here running in place. And then it'd be like, it ain't even a bitch that's worth looking at. And it's like, nah. So I just go out, get my walk in and all that shit. I be paying for a gym. I don't even go to the gym anymore. I'm paying for that shit. Cause like I said, I was dropping weight and I didn't want to touch no weights. That's the one thing I need to stay away from is I didn't want to put on muscle mass and shit. I just need to drop my weight. So that's why I don't go to the gym. I pay for that shit still. I'm paying for that shit for what the last few years and shit. And the sir says the boxers are entitled. They are. They are. And they are very entitled, man. And it's time for them to have a rude fucking awakening. I hope that Dana White and them pull an ice move on these motherfuckers. Like, I hope he start acting like some Trump ass shit. Just become deportation in this mug. Start doing ice in motherfucking boxing. Just become ice agents. And LD says Mark says you only see fog. Says you only see fog from your meth. He said you only see fog for your meth pipe these days. Yeah, you old meth head. Yeah, he live in Kensington, Pennsylvania and shit. He out there all them drug addicts. And then TV says I see that Wilder is fighting Usyk in April. Did they announce that shit? Well, April can't come fast enough. And then OD says, Tone says, word. And then Jashawn there rolling. Marsumis says, where you get that from? Shaking my head. Says I was clowning you because you need to do more walking and less talking. And then Jashawn in there rolling. And then Vlasica imagine if these young niggas had to fight in Johnny Tapier's area. They wouldn't survive. A lot of them probably wouldn't have won in the boxing. A lot of them wouldn't have entered boxing. A lot of these dudes wasn't. And it's just like, man, you just deal in this soft ass era and shit. This soft era. But even there was flaws even in the Tapia era. There was flaws in the Tapia era because Tapia didn't achieve all the shit they could achieve because of drugs and shit. Them fools start becoming dope fiends. Half of them want to run in the streets and shit. But they were definitely tough. They were definitely tougher and shit. And then Abin LD said, where Real Rap been? I don't know what happened to Real Rap, man. I hit that fool. I hope that fool is all right. And he says, why you stop posting that jumper? Oh, he said, why I ain't posted? I haven't been on the court in a while. I haven't been out there on the court in a minute. And then he says, and plus because I've been doing my walks and run, and it's been getting dark. That's the other reason why I haven't been out there on the court, because it's been getting dark extremely early. And he says a psych ward. Laughed my ass off. Says I ain't seen him pop in since in a while. Yeah, I was wondering what happened to that fool, because I know that fool was dealing with. He'll go crazy on the motherfucker in a minute. He'll be flipping out and shit. And the Vlasica says number 47 says got some new health issues. Says you might be right. Says he might not be. Says he might not do the full term. Always right, homie. And I hope he kicked the fuck out that bucket. I hope that bucket make his ass hit a somersault. Like that fool ain't shit. Like I say, Trump a hoe. He deranged. Something definitely wrong with him. The world knows something wrong with him. And then TV says, D said, but not even just the health. He ought to have been thrown in jail, but that's the Supreme Court motherfuckers' fault for that shit. And I know these people in the Supreme Court realize how bad they fucked up. And even these little sorry ass Republicans in Congress realize how much they fucked up, thinking to be loyal. Nah, you ain't trying to be aligned with Trump. You Trump hoes. And they didn't realize that. Trump ain't cool with y'all. Y'all hoes, homie. You better say yes to this fool. Y'all better get on y'all knees and walk for him. That's how Trump view the world. And that's how people got down for Trump. Get down or lay down. That's how Trump treat fools. And it's taking more women that are standing up against him because most dudes is punks. The women over there is standing up to Trump because a lot of these dudes is hoes. And we live in a society of little hoe ass dudes. And then TB says, LD says, that's what I seen on Boxing Scene. And then Aaron Parker in the building, what to do? Salute, salute. LD says, all right to you, TB. Mir says, get your disrespect up. Absolutely. All the way. Get your disrespect way up. And then Mark Summers says, a million excuses. And then Velocity Cut says, Aaron Parker says, you from SAC. And then Mark says you from New Jersey at Velocity Cut. And let me see. They asking all this shit. Says, yeah, it says South Sac, South Sac, Iraq. And then Ben Boxing says, Shalom. Oh my God. It's crazy motherfucker Ben got a new channel, Ben Boxing Entertainment. This fool says Shalom, says a new year, says don't be on that old shit 100. No, you need to tell yourself don't be on that old shit. And then here go Jerry says, what up, Milk Dud? Says Trump is your daddy. No, Trump is your daddy and your uncle. That's what Trump is, your daddy and your uncle. You call him daddy uncle. That's a common thing in y'all households. That's what Mark got. Mark Summers got a daddy uncle and a mama aunt. That's what he got. They grew up together. His dad was at the hospital when his mama was born and shit. So that lets you know something. Both of y'all, even you, Jerry, your dad was at the hospital when your mama was born too. And his dad, who is your grandpa and grandmother, took him there. Both of y'all grandmothers and grandfathers took your daddy to the hospital when your mother was born. Your daddy was there with them in a stroller. And then Mark Summers says, "No, that's you. No, that is you." And then he says, Picasso write Danzel, what the hell? Picasso just be writing any fucking thing. I don't know what the hell. But no, Mark Summers, that was you. That is a common thing in these communities y'all come from. And a lot of people don't highlight that. So I highlight that your grandmother and grandfather took your fathers to the hospital when your mother was born. He was there with them. Oh, man. That is very true. Look, Mark Summers says not common at all. Not common at all, man. Shit. You better go see y'all. I guarantee y'all parents probably been on soft white underbelly and shit. He says your mama gave birth to you, says, and had to finish her shift, says afterwards in the cafeteria. Nah, that ain't the story, but my story fucked up too. But it ain't like y'all. It ain't involving that incest shit like y'all. Yeah, y'all mothers and fathers be born from the same parents and shit. That's why half y'all be retarded and shit. That's why y'all need to be retarded as fuck. Looked all messed up and shit. Be looking all messed up, having affairs with your own relatives and shit. And then Velocity Cuss says Aaron Parker says South Sac, Iraq, 100 says I used to stay off Mac Road. Says it's a small world. And then but yeah, folks, that's all I got on here. Let me see if Jerry or Mark Summers want to talk some shit. That one hurt to the heart. They probably ain't gonna write another comment because that one hit hard. That was some truth. But if you go and look at like soft white underbelly, I'm just go to soft white underbelly and pull up some of their topics. Usually when they show like black girls and shit, usually black girls come from prostitution. They didn't come from poor backgrounds, but with them white folks, oh my God, there'd be all type of demonic shit coming up out of them households. We're just gonna skim through some of these topics. We're gonna skim through some of these topics and we're gonna see the debauchery that goes on in this motherfucking world we live in. And we'll see a contrast in the type of stories they tell and the way in which you see in this world we live in and how you guys want to hide. He says, nah, I'm good. Look, he good now. Always the winner, man. I stay undefeated with these fools. Look, they don't want to be doing that shit no more. Look, I done highlighted some truth on them. He says, I stay on power and they talking about their cities. And then Jerry says, your mama gave birth to, look, he can't write his feelings so hurt. Your mama gave birth to then went to McDonald's. Oh, your mama went to soft white underbelly. That's where the fuck she went. So let's go into this soft white underbelly. One of the best fucking YouTube channels in all of YouTube. This lady's losing grip. So it's something happening. Her father or somebody done touched on her. This fool here done did 2 suicide attempts on himself. She's untreated, unhoused, unwanted. You get in her stories, once again, something happened with her parents doing shit to her. Says, when the predator is your father. Yep, sounds like your households. Says, an interventionist. She's buried in regret. And that one, she been touched on. This fool forgive a person who tried to take his life. She wants somebody to love her, surrounded by, look at this shit. You listen to their stories, some way out shit in these mugs. This fool, a fake pimp, a fucking certified idiot, poor raised dude. Sarah's on her last leg. I'm talking about it'd be some way out shit. She is a psycho civilizationist and a UK ultra. I guess she survived that shit. They from the bottom of the barrel. I'm telling you, man, come on. Oh, this girl's story is just like y'all's though. Her shit is sick. This is sick ass Fifi story is sick. She having relationships with her father, her grandfather. This fool, a fentanyl addict, black sheep of a celebrity family. I'm talking about, man, y'all got some weird stories out of y'all homes, Mark Summers and Jerry. Y'all got some weird stories. And when these people tell their stories, you hear about what the hell was happening with their families and shit. You hear about all that shit was happening in their families. Some weird, touchy-feely shit. And like you say, a lot of them was at the hospital when y'all mothers was born, and y'all grandma and grandfather took them, and then y'all grandma and grandfather were at the hospital together when they were born too. So man, yeah, that's a channel for y'all, Jerry, and I know y'all gonna check it out. That's why I wanted to put it on here. Y'all probably never heard of it, but I know I just skimmed through that shit. You probably seen somebody that looked like you and said, "Man, why is she over here telling the family story? It's supposed to be a secret." Man, that's how Reggie knows all this shit. And IPLD said both of their parents for show, says for show of soft white underbelly, our own soft white underbelly. They are. These fools be hiding that shit. He telling Reggie everything. He says went to McDonald's for a job application. Says for job application in a water cup. These fools can't even write no more. I didn't hurt they feeling so bad. He says you was born wearing a dirty white t-shirt. Yeah, I sure the hell was, but wasn't born in a soft white underbelly story. And he says, Jerry, you corny as fuck. And then Mark says, no, says that was us. Says, no, that was a good one, Opplin. Says, I don't know these people. Look, now you trying to say you don't know these people. Them your relatives on that shit. You should. I know you be watching that show. You gotta go watch it. And then Jerry says, Op says, that's cool. Says, what you got? And then he says, and then Mark Summers says, that looks like AI. He think it's AI now. It's your family's fucking, it's your family tree, fool. That's what that shit is. He talking about this AI. Go watch that shit so it can hurt your feelings. Maybe you go on there one day. MLD says, Cat. Mark says shit was weak. Mark says you watch some AI race propaganda stuff. So Mark Summers believes soft white underbelly is race propaganda. Soft white underbelly ain't about race, bro. It is them stories from your fucking existence. And now you don't want to go watch that shit. But I guarantee you're gonna be forced to go watch it. Make sure you have your tissue because I know it's gonna hurt your feelings because these are stories from your past. These are definitely stories from your past. Let me see. Let me show some more of these people. And these people are from your world. Let me see. Let me go to the popular ones. Let me go to these popular ones. So this is look, here go a family with incest. This is definitely where y'all come from, Mark and Jerry. This is exactly where y'all come from. This story right here, the inbred family, the Whitakers, y'all come from that shit. This story is sad with Amanda. I had put her Instagram post on her. Y'all from the inbred family, the Whitakers. This one, and I was looking at one the other day, man, it's some way out shit in y'all lifestyles. Man, this is one of my favorite ones, man. This dude has such a kind heart, man. This dude has such a kind heart, man. It was sad what was done to him and shit. And then the fact that he became the victim of someone walking up, blasting his face off, and there was nothing. And look where he's left. He left homeless. But it's how kind that dude heart is for what happened to him. And look, here go another one. This fool is look what this fool is. Back out on the streets. Heroin addict. Look at all this shit. These are more popular ones. This is y'all lifestyle, bro. This is where y'all come from. It's where you come from, Jerry and Mark. Wait, is this that attorney? Oh, this attorney was off the hook. James Saxton, man, this fool be talking the real. He sound like me if I was an attorney. He'd be talking that real shit. They got that fool Sharp on here. This is Spike's addict. Most of the black girls you're gonna see, they be prostitutes. But y'all world, Jerry and Mark, woo, nasty. Shit, incest survivor, her. Y'all lie. I be feeling bad for y'all and shit. I be feeling bad sometimes when I talk to y'all. This fool is an ex-transgender woman. Look at this fool. That's y'all world, Jerry. Y'all fuckers are nasty, homie. Y'all lies are ridiculous. Look at that. Just got a bunch of y'all on there. Don't ever run y'all mouths on here, Jerry. Y'all should sit back and humble yourselves. But that ain't AI, Mark Summers. I'm sorry. You should go watch it. You may see your relatives that you've been looking for on there. Velocity Cut says that Aaron says I went to, they talking about Sacramento. Jerry says, look, he can't even write no more. It says, where your daddy at, Reg? Man, my dad, I was raised by dad, homie. That's who my dad is. And then Mark Summers says, you can't read, bro. No, y'all can't write. And English is a European language that y'all grew up on. Well, no, y'all didn't. Y'all probably talk some other European language. I forget y'all just arrived over here. And then Mark says, I wrote that fine. Says you need some hooked on phonics and some glasses. Nah, y'all need some soft white underbelly. You need to go watch that shit. He says, I don't know who they are. He trying to deny these people, knowing damn well they're his families, direct relatives, descendants. And he says, not me. He says, there's only one me. And then Jerry says, hey, he says, go watch the story of Jessica White, says on YouTube. And Jessica White, all right, let me see what Jessica White is. And then Mark Summers says that's not our lifestyle. Shaking my head, says, I hope you're trolling. Trolling? Man, I ain't trolling, fool. I'm being honest. That's y'all fucking lies, fool. That's y'all community. Common in y'all community. Resources and all that shit you get. And he says that Marcellus says you might got a concussion. And then Apinodi says he think cause white is the title says it has to do with race. I'm telling you, he gonna go watch this shit. And he gonna come back here mad. Reggie, how dare you expose the true history of what goes on in our household? That is a secret. And then Apinodi says he thinks oh yeah, read that one. And then Jerry says get that U-neck t-shirt back to your granny. Jerry, I'm sorry that soft white underbelly hurt you, and my t-shirts are going to stay the same. This is actually a V-neck. But I'm sorry these soft white underbelly truth hurt y'all. But you should be a little bit more of an advocate for fixing what happens inside your household. Say, no, daddy, don't touch. That's what they're gonna be after they watch soft white underbelly. They're gonna be in their sleep screaming that shit. These fools been touched. And then Mark Summers says if B talk like you, says I'm not hiring you. Damn, Mark, you can't write. Vlasica says West LA equals Lice Mountain. Or West VA, Western VA equals Lice Mountain. Jerry says, yes, says we conquered and colonized, says and still owned, says and still owning to this day. You ain't owning nothing but the people in your households. That's all y'all own, you fucking incest making motherfuckers. That's what that colonization got y'all all the way fucked up. Y'all be in the house giving birth to kids and thinking you own them and shit. That's what be happening. Mark Summers says incest is so common in the black community, but it's not but it's non-consensual, super sad. It's some in some black families. I ain't gonna deny that, but it's widespread within y'all's. I know Boxer says what's the brother of Ben Israel channel again? Ben's Boxing Entertainment. And then Velocity cuts in and Roland Matter says, I wonder if they are the poor white Chappelle was talking about. It happened at all levels in their households, whether they're rich or poor. We just seen what happened with the Hollywood dude. What's his name? Renner. What's the dude? Dan Renner. What happened in his household? Little rich meth head kid they had killed both his parents. The Menendez brothers. It happens all throughout there. They just don't always highlight it, but they couldn't hide it because of who that guy was. They couldn't hide that shit. And the news people's gonna get to it. They would try to hide that shit. Just like you had one of the Rockefeller dudes die up in Hollywood, his house burnt up. And they want to hide that shit, hide who he was. Yeah, Rob. Sorry, thank you about that. Rob Renner. But yeah, Mark Summers and Jerry. Go watch y'all family stories on Soft White Underbelly. Up in OD says Mark says fuck out of here. Says fuck out of here. Mark says that's common in your culture. And then Ben says y'all go sub. Yeah, y'all go sub the Bens. Let's sub the Ben channel. Let me make sure I'm sub. Ben ain't gonna do not one goddamn video to his new channel, but we still gonna go sub. We still gonna sub. This nigga got one video upload. Ben, you should definitely be uploading videos, homie. You should definitely be going live, man. I will make sure I would definitely be on that mug for your channel, Ben. You go live, and then Jerry says black communities have the highest race of incest. Yeah, right. Says along with Asians, says oddly enough. Yeah, right. Says as usual, says you sound uneducated. As usual, you sound uneducated and running from what the truth is. You keep wishing upon them stars and wish you can rewrite your history for what you really are. That shit is common in y'all fucking families. Do some black families have it? Absolutely. But y'all's disgusting. It's some nasty shit that goes on there. And Jared, who know you probably been doing that shit. I mean, I don't want to hope you doing it, but I won't put nothing past that you probably doing that shit. And then but it'll just come down to, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, maybe. And the Velocity Cuss says drop the channel link says for Trap Money Benny. Ben is in the damn chat. Just click on his shit. And he says G5 is exposed. Oh, says is exposed your lies, Ben. Or G5 is exposed. Damn, y'all can't write for shit. Wait, he says, I see you wrote it again. Let me try to read the other one. I know Boxer says, put it up, Ben. Says, I can't find it. And then Jerry says, go Google. Says, go Google it, smart guy. No, you go Google it. And then it says, G5 exposed your lies the other day. Ben laughed my ass off. Says, stop lying on that man. Wait, who Ben lied on? Ben lied on. Wait, what did Ben write? What did Ben write? I ain't see Ben write nothing about nobody. Wait, what did Ben do? Ben did some shit. Ben in there getting his ass exposed. And then Kenny says salute to myself in the chat. And then Mark Summers says do some research. And he says, hey, Reg says show us your titties, man. This fool Jerry's straight homo. That's what his daddy be saying to him in the house. That's where he look. I told you the apple don't fall too far from the tree. He see a dude on here and talk about show him my chest. He's straight up homo, man. But like I said, you learn that shit from your daddy. Let me go on to this shit and then expose this fool Jerry. Let me expose Jerry real quick. Let's expose Jerry real quick. And show him what he don't be knowing this shit. Because they be in there following each other, playing grab ass all the time and shit. There's some real sick shit that goes on amongst the families of the Jerrys in the world. Hey, matter of fact, Jerry, didn't I put this shit up a while ago before? Then I put up a statistic like that some time, and that's why I think you stopped coming around here. I know Mark stopped coming around here for a while after I put some shit up like that. I always do this shit when I want to offend y'all. When I want to offend y'all, when y'all get to here and they're here writing y'all little retarded statements, and then I gotta hit you with some truth. Be smoking y'all fools. I'm the king of this shit, bro. I'm king of this shit. Boom, boom, boom. I'm the king of this shit. Hold on, let me see. Give me 1 second. Boom, boom. Where we at? See, they want to hide this report. Oh, this from the Justice Department too. They want to hide this. They want to hide these numbers. All right, they say white women are 2.5 times more likely than black chicks. And boom, boom, boom. Let me see. Like I love exposing you fools. Let me see why they hiding this statistic. Give me the numbers. Give me the number. Let me expose these fools. Because that was something y'all was pulling. Y'all couldn't even stop, even during slavery. That was something y'all was doing. White dudes out there doing that weird shit. Let me see where our numbers at. Boom, boom. Like they don't even want to put the they don't even want to put the information in here. They want to hide that shit. Yeah, they don't want to give me the numbers on that one, but we all know what it is. We all know what it is. People look like Jerry and then they be doing that shit all throughout their households. See, they just want to report the numbers. See, they don't usually everything you find when they got some damn crime report, statistical report, they divide everything into race. This one just broken down into the numbers on that shit. So yeah, that's what be happening in your household. I know you got a bunch of registered people in your family there, Jerry. And he said, let me see. Let me go back up. And then Mark says no Diddy to Jerry. Jerry is Diddy. He says no chest titties. And then on the box it says, "Whoa, Paul, Jerry, man, Jerry. That Paul shit don't mean nothing to Jerry. Jerry a homo." And Jerry says 9.5 to 10 says Jerry Marks is the products of incest. That's a fact. And then Ben says stepping on G5 and his soft ass home. This fool Ben Israel. And then Mark says, not me, goofy. And then Jerry says you got 8 likes, says nobody's coming around. Jerry, did you ever hear me say click the like button and all that other shit? Did you ever hear me say that shit? The most I'm gonna do is this shit. Not beg for likes and say how many people in here liking the video. Get the fuck out of here. And then but Jerry, you in here, dummy. Alvin OD says Ben lied on G5 name. Oh, what do he do? I see G5 in him in a minute. I see G5 in him do content in a minute. And then Mark Summers says you never get to me, says because I know you're like says you're just a dummy. Mark, I get to you every time I'm on this mug. Be clowning the dog shit out of you. And then Otto Boxer says Jerry and Mark says hit the link. Man, they would never hit the link. Jerry hit it once and then I embarrassed him. He stopped coming around. And then Mark got on here that one time. I roasted the fuck out because he sound weird. Albert LD says he got exposed on the live since this past week. I mean, it's one thing to say he got exposed. I mean, you couldn't get details of what he did. And he said, drop the link for them, Slim. Well, no, I ain't gonna stay on here too long. Y'all be wanting like this ain't entertainmentville all the time. I'll be going on here just to talk shit, but then I'm gonna get off so we can do our music. So we're gonna do music. And the Velocity Cut says, play the clip so that WV inbred says barking like a dog. Oh, the one on soft white underbelly. Jerry and them about to go watch that shit. They about to be mad as fuck after watching this shit. And then Jerry says, skipping over the real stats. Says, what's up, Red? Says, I found the info quick. Says, quickly. Put the info up. Drop the link. And he says the info says there. Says anyone can Google it. Says notice you're not reading the findings. The finding I found show that white women were 2.75 times greater to suffer from what they call this sexual assault as minors. So what are you talking about? That ain't giving me that ain't the one we talking about. We talking about from y'all having babies with your own kids. That soft white underbelly shit. That's what we talking about. We soft white underbelly. Like any parent that's doing that shit, any household that does that shit, are sick motherfuckers. And anybody, I don't see how people keep that shit a secret. You should blast the person that does that shit. So let me go here and show Jerry a quick statistic on some shit. And then this may be considered AI or some shit. So here's your statistic there. And then when you're talking about Asians, Asians are very low at that shit. But there you go, there, Jerry. There go your numbers, Jerry. There go your numbers there, Jerry. Read them and fucking weep, loser. Read the numbers and weep, loser. You fucking idiot. You see, there go the numbers there. So, but that ain't the numbers I'm looking for. I want other numbers. I want them to break it down. But you notice how they don't want to break. They break down everything. Black people catch this disease and black people got that. But when it comes to this, they don't fully want to go into the full breakdown of this shit. Read I'm gonna leave them numbers up there for you for a while, Jerry, so you can read and weep them. And let me see. This one shows. Let me see what degenerate states they got here. Let me see. Let me move this real quick. Found another statistic. I'm gonna keep clowning you fools. Let me see. Boom, boom. Hold on. We got some degeneracy here in America I just come across. Let me see. So they showing these fools can marry their damn relatives. Let me see. Yeah, America got some way out shit in it. And we about to expose this shit. Yeah, we about to expose this. Yeah, Jerry, I'm about to come for y'all. I'm on y'all head. So this one, I'm gonna make sure I'm reading this right. So they allow this is although largely settled, marriage laws may change at any time. So that is show. Says inbreeding says is the production of offspring from the mating of individuals says who are closely related. So they because it's so prevalent in y'all history that they say first cousin marriage is voided. No, damn, these fools allow that shit. They be allowing y'all to marry y'all cousins out here. That shit is wild. That shit is wild. Look at this stat. So new one. Let me put this one up. Let me pull this one up. So look. Well, let me go back to Jerry's comment after you proved him wrong. He says it's underreported. So no. Actually, there's a report that showed that the most reported cases come from black women. So it ain't underreported by black folks. Black folks get out there and report it. Says yeah, it says child abuse retard says people are 70% says white people look, he trying to go into what the percentage is. Fucking dumbass. His fucking dumbass want to use the percentage and shit. But still, the percentage will still factor in for the black population. Y'all percentages are higher there. And not just percentage, because it comes down to an actual number, not percentages there, Jerry. Numbers. The fuck out of here. Y'all in here, y'all sick, bro. You got a sickness. Don't know how to keep your hands off of. And he says, but yeah, this fool in here want to change the narrative. Like I said, I'm gonna always make you look stupid, Jerry. Says what he says, Loked Out Wednesday, he says on a Thursday, says all music, all music, all music. I don't be wanting to just do that West Coast music shit. And he says in op says you need to stay the F up out of my business, cheerleading. And Jerry says you ain't fooling nobody, Red. Says anyone can Google the facts. Says you got nothing. Says and do not even understand the percentages. Jerry, the numbers were up there. I just posted them up there. I'm sorry they don't fit your narrative. Sorry they don't fit your narrative. But I didn't even realize this was an issue that they allow inbreeding because they have to allow it because that's what y'all be doing. Because y'all be doing that. That's why they have to allow this shit. Mm-mm-mm. That shit is nasty. That shit is nasty. Let me keep finding these damn statistical reports on y'all. And until you go watch Soft White Underbelly, so you can hear the stories about what y'all be doing, because they won't give out the details of this shit the way I'm looking for it on a on the actual breakdown and racial breakdown and shit. Let me see. Boom, boom. Let me go to the U.S. Now I'm looking for the U.S., not the world. But the world, the people in the Middle East, they real nasty with it. The Middle Easterners are some nasty ass people with it. Yeah, nasty. Let me see. Yeah, I want the American breakdown, not the world. They be showing it for the world. I'm trying to get it for America. So we show Jerry in them. So America got the lowest percentage of compared to the rest of the world, but we want it for the United States. We're going for the United States. So it's the World Population Review. See, they won't give it to me because they trying to hide these numbers for Jerry and them. They don't want to expose Jerry and them. They want to hide that shit. Like I said, I already pull up the one report. But I say, Jerry, your family story on that soft white underbelly, you gotta go watch that shit. You have to go check it out. You definitely have to check it out. It just shows the despicable nature of people like you. Just nasty, filthy, filth. And let me see. This one shows, yeah, this one shows an incest number, and it breaks it down with y'all. Boom, boom. And the other races, like you try to lie and bring up, ain't nowhere close. Let me see. Let me see if I can share this. This let me see if it opens. Wait, where'd it go? Let me see. You see that number there, Jerry? Let me see if it shows. Hold on. Did it pull up? Is it sharing? Okay, no, it ain't sharing. Wait, or does it? Oh, I need to do this. Wait, what am I doing? All right, so no, I don't see it showing. All right, let me move that. Oh, give me 1 second. Because it's showing the numbers and they high amongst people who look like you, Jerry. So you gonna say that ain't real? Killing this fool. Killing this boy. All right, hold on. Let me minimize this screen. Damn, it ain't gonna let me share the. Hold on, let me see how else can I share this, because I think it's very important for me to put this on the screen. I think it's very important to put this up here. Hold on. Damn, it won't let me put it on there. Let me see. How do I screen share? Why this shit ain't showing on the screen? Because it's showing. All right, I'm gonna read the numbers. It shows whites, and it's not. We talking about the shit with Jerry and them, how they were born. Because like I say, Jerry's dad was at the hospital when his mother was there, when his mother was born, and his grandfather brought his dad there because they had just gave birth to a little girl. So it's showing there's 934 coming from whites, 143 coming from blacks, Native Americans 12, unknown, which is probably Latino group 62. All right, and then they break it down by age and all that other shit. And these are cases. This is coming from the FBI website, not made up. But since it's in a PDF file, I mean PDF. That's what they call people like Jerry and them, people who are on that damn list, that register list. But let me see. Why won't it let me show this shit? All right, let me see. Let me try to save this. Let me see. Let me see. No, people won't even let me save this one. And damn. Because I want to put this on the screen. I got to clown Jerry with this shit. I'm always clowning Jerry. and Mark Summers be schooling these dummies. Let me see. Let me see. Go to win. Oh, here it go. It might show in this tab. Let me see. This should show it. Let's see. Is it on there? Bam, it's on there. There you go. There you go, boy. There you go. Now you see it. Now you see it. Look, read it, and fucking weep, dweebs. Dweebs, victims of incest. You see the numbers for people who look like Jerry and Mark Summers. Always right with your boy. With your boy. The true educator. Man, that's all I am. Just educating. Educating the people at a mass level. All right, we got it. You see those numbers? Copy them. Let me see what y'all got to say to the numbers. Let me see. Jerry says same number, says great difference, says percentage, says you would not understand because he says you would not understand because you stupid. No, Jerry, the numbers are the numbers. You need them broken down in statistics. Salute to Patricia Shelton in the building. Salute to your sister. And then Kenny Porter's right hand says Ole Miss is about to get blown out. Says second half. Salute to Georgia kicking Ole Miss ass. Lane Kiffin's old team. Yeah, I got no love for no Lane Kiffin team at all. But yeah, just in here school. I enjoy schooling these fools because they love bringing out race. They love hearing, trying to run narratives and negative shit about black folks. Who television highlights the negativity in black folks, but Reg must comes out here and teach degenerate ass people who sit there and watch Fox News and want to hear some good things that highlight them and make them feel good about their little wicked ass selves. I'm glad y'all come over here. I truly enjoy y'all coming over here for quick lessons. But they get better stories from actual people who go through this shit on Soft White Underbelly. You should watch it and you'll find a long lost relative on that show. And then Marcellus says there's no tracking of inbred babies born in the USA. No, they track it. They just don't want to highlight it because these are your people. Just like y'all don't be knowing y'all come from incest, they be hiding it. Oh yeah, I met your mother on a date. I was at the yeah, right. He fucking met your mother in her crib. That's where your daddy met her motherfucking ass. Motherfucker be just getting lied to left and right. We the superior group and this and that and blah blah blah. And then Marcellus says, where you get into says look, now these motherfuckers want to know where the stats come from. This official goddamn data, fool. Well, you thought I just made a fucking quick little Excel sheet? And he says, what are you even looking at? Look, these fools don't like when numbers come out. Then the numbers be AI. Then no, they saying percentage, not all the numbers, man. What you counted all the numbers for? Don't count the full numbers. Don't show the full numbers. Break it into a percent. Then they won't like if the percent show them high. It says same numbers, great difference. Says percentage. Says you would not understand because you stupid. Brandon are having to laugh at these fools. Jerry says you made that pretty quick. Says, look, now I made this shit. I told you it's Jerry. Y'all should stop writing this common shit from y'all. It's common stuff from y'all, Jerry. And then and you know I ain't allowed too much in from our communities because the people get beat the fuck up. Some families, yeah, they do allow that shit. And them little poor, bummed out, crackhead ass families. And then Mark Summers says that's a high percentage of blacks, says then the percentage of whites. Well, there's a high number of whites versus the blacks. And the Blaxica says, so you saying Jerry in the West Virginia coal mine, says in a coal mining cave? Yeah. His daddy got arrested. Man, what would y'all expect me to do? There's nobody else around. Fucking fool. He says, compare the numbers of victims, says, to the total number of each race. These motherfuckers. They always want to move some goalposts. No, how about is 900 greater than 100? What the fuck? These fucking fools. Just accept the fucking fact that y'all got some sick shit going on. How about you address? No, don't try to come up with who numbers are better. Create solutions, dumbasses. See how dumb these fools is? They taking in how bad they feel now. You can always go in blackface. You can always blackface yourself if you don't like what the stats show. You should do some blackfacing. Yeah, you can cover up and hide it. You want to be part of those numbers, you can easily blackface it. And that's doing what the girls do. Go tan yourselves. But it is what it is, brother. And the thing that Mark and Jerry should come up with is solutions. Go come up with some solutions. How about you lock? You put a fucking a deadbolt lock on your fucking father's pants, and probably put one on your own pants because y'all got it in your blood too that it's a possibility you can go around and doing the same shit. So padlock your damn pants and shit. And this is way y'all can prevent that shit. Says blacks and Asians says top the list of inbreds in the USA. No. And then Mark Summers says, nah, bro, says we grew up says going to grandma and grandpa's house on both sides says of the family. Says you don't know about that. Yeah, y'all probably go there because grandma and grandpa trying to rescue y'all. Y'all don't know that, motherfucker. Brother in there rolling. Yeah, he didn't realize. He just think your grandma and grandpa didn't give a fuck about y'all. That's why y'all be walking all through the wilderness and shit. They ain't watching y'all. Keeping you away from old Chester. They son. And then Mark Summers says I support all victims regardless of the rate. Yeah, now they support all victims. See, I love the way I break y'all down, homie. Just thank me one day. Be breaking these fools down. And then Jerry told you, says this fool has zero understanding of percentage. Says just straight stupid. He talk about percentage. Jerry, y'all got problems in your houses, homie. You need to go fix it. You may need to go fix it in your own household and kick your dad in the ass for how you was brought here. And said, man, Reggie done showed me this shit, damn daddy. or what should I call your daddy or uncle this time? I'm ready to blacken your eye, uncle. They're gonna react. They gonna lose their mind and shit. Oh fuck. And Mark says, I'm gonna throw your old ass in a nursing home. That's why y'all don't be caring for their ass when they get older because of this shit. And then Mark Summers says I'm just disputing the moronic things you're saying. Says those numbers should be at zero from every group. They counted the numbers. No need for a statistical number. They're going to show the number of people who have unfortunately had this sick shit happen to them. Now these dumbasses are worried about fucking percentages. The boxing scholar wants Jerry to post the stats. Jerry doesn't want to post the stats. Jerry should reflect on the numbers. And Jerry is such a demonic dude, supports that shit. That he's saying, don't make us look bad. What's the percentage? Because let me calculate my percentage and my race number is this high because we keep adding all these other people into our group to make the white race look so high. But damn, maybe it'll offset these damn numbers Reggie exposing and shit. These are victims. No need for a statistic, dumbass. And then he says Red says you gave Jerry a wrench. Says I would have took it. Says right after the debate. Man, that debate shit is minor shit to me. I don't be tripping about these wrenches. He can't block nobody with it. And then Jerry says, "Hey, Red says go squeegee that bottom lip. Says licking it. Says it's not working. Why Jerry keep saying a bunch of homo shit, man? Don't be doing that old pedophilic shit you done learn from your daddy over here, homie." And then he says, Mark Summers says those numbers indicate it's more likely to happen to you than me. No, it's not. It happened to you. What the fuck are you talking about? You in that stat. Man, fucking, what do you do? Did you kick? Did you even try to run or you just allowed him to do it to you, Mark? And he says, that's what you don't understand. And he's full of one statistic. And more y'all are doing that shit. And then Boxing Scholar says Red says, well, cook you, Jerry, in politics. I mean, I cook Jerry on everything. Right now, I'm cooking him on this data that he didn't believe in, that he wanted me to Google, which I know he now regret me up here doing a search for the numbers. Him and Mark regrets that shit. But like I say, they should go watch the show I just suggested to them tonight, and that's Soft White Underbelly, while we get ready for rap music and R&B music and all that other shit later on. Unless y'all want to tune into that shit, get y'all minds off of what happened to y'all. Or maybe I want to get on here and have a therapy sessions and we'll call the authorities on your parents later on, your aunts and uncle, slash mama daddy. And then Mark Summey says you've been saying the opposite, so I have to educate your slow ass. And then Jerry says, yeah, says I own Reg in that debate. Sure you did, Jerry. You the one that got mad about it. I didn't. So you won the debate, but you got mad about it. Fucking dummy. Yeah, that's how dumb y'all are. That's why you keep coming up with dumb ass figures and you be wrong. You won the debate, but you cried for a long time about this shit. Jerry says the boxing scholar says so say you. Says I doubt it. And he laughing out loud. Brandon says, yeah, it says R&B. Now I think we're gonna do rap. We last ended off with R&B. We'll start with rap, and then we can go into R&B and all that shit. The boxing scholar says that's red strong point. And then man, I'm strong in everything, man. I'm too diverse, man. I always make sure I'm diverse. Unlike people with their stock investments, I make sure I'm diverse and lowering all this shit so I can be extremely disrespectful to people when I need to, especially when they're idiots. And then Brandon Watson says, music with Reg, yes indeed. 10 o'clock though, Deuce want to start at in 3 hours. Damn, I didn't realize how early it is. And then Jerry says you was too embarrassed to be mad. Jerry, never embarrassed, man. I ain't lost a debate to none of y'all ever. And then Jerry says Red Stroll Point says is wearing that U-neck t-shirt. And then, man, it's always the great points wearing the white shirt. So I can get it dirty at the end of the day. Show how nasty your fucking household is. That's why I wear this shit. To show y'all how filthy you are in them damn houses y'all come from in the suburbs in rural parts of America. This is my public protest about what's going on in your house to raise awareness of what's happening around Jerry and them. That the dirtier the environment, the dirty this shit will get. So that's all that shit. That's why I wear this shit. I'm wearing it in solidarity with my brothers Mark and Jerry. So the rougher my day is, and the more my shirt is worn, the more my shirt goes on throughout the day, the dirtier it's gonna get. So it's the way Jerry and them life have been. And the Velocity Cut says conspiracy show says release the inbred. We should do a show on inbreds, man. You should definitely do a show on that shit. About how they be doing that shit up in West Virginia. Cause it ain't nothing to fuck up there. The black chicks don't want to fuck with y'all. Even the white ones who come from free family, they don't fuck with Jerry now. Jerry, where you met your Jerry, I ain't never heard you talk about kids or none of that shit. And I want to get into where did you meet the lady at? Where did you meet the lady at? At a family gathering and shit. You met her on Christmas at the house. Fuck these motherfuckers, man. Come on, man. It's just, man. Let me stop, man. Let me stop, man. I'll be killing these fools, man. Jerry the homie and shit. I hate that I talk about people that's cool, but then again, I don't. Get my disrespect up. Getting my disrespect up. Oh my god. Let me see Jerry next comment before I get out of here. Cause we doing some music. Oh, Jerry don't want to write no more. He probably calling his damn dad or some shit. Or should I say his uncle, one of the two. Daddy uncle. Daddy uncle. I remember first time I told somebody that shit. That was a little white kid in my people's neighborhood. I ended up calling him that shit. I was clowning. That's probably why that little fool came back and tried to call me the N-word that one day. And me and them tell him that he called his dad daddy uncle and shit. And then later called me the N word, man. I must have slapped the shit out that little kid. And then Rob G in the bill says Jerry Milanakis, man. Yeah. Hey, what was that fool named Milanakis? Remember that little short chubby white dude? Andy Milanakis. That's who that shit was. Wasn't they giving these fools? These fools are getting TV shows off of doing some of the dumbest of shit. Remember Andy Milanakis had a show. Andy Dick drug addict ass had one. What was the other fool? It was Andy Dick, and it was a other little crazy, weird acting white dude. His name what's the other white dude? He used to have a show on MTV. He just be on there doing dumb shit. Tom Green, thank you. Who wrote that shit? Velocity Cuts. It says Andy had great comedy. No, they was just doing dumb shit like only a drug addict would get. Tom Green was the other fool. It says Tom Green was great too. That was a fool. These fools getting fucking TV network shows off of doing that shit. says my bum is on your lip. Y'all really remember this shit? That was a Tom Green doing that shit or some shit like that. Oh my god, MTV. And then the thing, MTV was trying to not play black music and shit for years. And then they resort down to Andy Dick getting the show, Tom Green, Andy Milonakis. Who else? They struck gold with Jackass, but it was these type people in there doing some of the most deranged, crazy fucking shit, receiving no real ridicule or cause for banning this shit. That's why I don't understand why black folks think they gotta present them in a certain way. Don't let them see us like this. Man, fuck all that shit. If it's funny, do it. Let it be. Because Jackass is like, we used to watch that shit where I came from to be like, look at these crazy ass white dudes. Like these fools is crazy as shit. So they had an audience of everybody watching them and shit. That who else had a crazy, ridiculous show? Even fool Pauly Short had a damn acting career off of doing shit that was just doing stupid shit. It could just, I don't even get the humor and like Pauly Shore and all these fools actually getting network shows and all that shit. And he said that's why everyone watched. And it was just like all of that shit, just seeing the degeneracy in these fools. Jerry Springer blew up off of the degeneracy coming out. Can't even say out the damn country. There was a bunch of black people getting on there showing they retarded asses. But it was just crazy. These fools getting these type of shows, but it didn't get no worse than Tom Green, Andy Milonakis, Andy Dick, and it was some other people that had some foolish ass shit like that. So Jake Paul says, and Tony Joshua says was like Jackass, like a Jackass episode. Jackass was so the Duck Dynasty. Jerry had Duck Dynasty, bunch of stupid shit. Duck Dynasty. That's when I knew that redneck shit was being pushed to America. I never watched that shit. I would never watch that shit. Never supported that whole ass shit because I seen the way in which they're pushing this country. Because all that redneck shit start coming out in the TV, and I knew it would. I knew it would eventually roll over into it becoming part of the political, kind of the political driver to reshaping the direction they wanted this country to go and the voice they was trying to get to this country. I never fuck with any of that Duck Dynasty shit, none of that redneck TV shit. And that's what really started to manifest and rear its ugly head on TV is they cut away black television shows and the fact that black shows and black cultural influences and shit. They start cutting away music video shows, which are like the hottest shit ever. You don't even see music video shows no more because you can get administrations that come in and have control over these whack ass damn networks. This is why fuck this TV shit. Turn the TV off. Great line, my brother Kendrick. Great fucking line. Turn the TV off because these motherfuckers want to drive and control a narrative and herd the sheep along the directions they want to herd them in because people follow that shit. You know, it'd be where show me how TV had an influence on especially retarded ass people in society. Is it goes right back to Enterprise. Enjoy the shots to see at Enterprise and learning people because this is the hottest tourist destination in the world. There used to be people come out here to go to the damn pawn shop store. To this day, I still ain't never seen that pawn shop store. But there used to be so many people that will fly out here to go to what is this shit? Pawn Stars or some shit? Pawn TV show to go to look at that damn pawn shop store. And then the lines, because all these people's coming out here, the line be wrapped around the damn corner for that shit. I like, man, you people gotta be some of the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet. Oh, the TV got you like that. Like, you fools is out of your damn minds. But I knew exactly where all that shit was shaping shit. Because I'm ahead in my thinking on motherfuckers. People are so basic. And then Marcel, that's why these hoes be pimping these fools, because people are so basic. Mark Summers says Doug Dynasty says was on like Discovery Channel says or something. Says it didn't replace a black show. No. Nobody said about the black shows are already being replaced. The black shows are already being chopped away. And then Velocity Cuss says Scholar says Steve O says we'll get in the ring, says with a pro boxer. Steve O, I'm surprised. Out of all the fools that have died on fucking Jackass, I thought Steve O would be the first one. A long time. Who was the one that died? Not Bam Margera's the other fool. He died like the Call of Duty dude. He died in one of them cars, and somebody else died on that shit. I thought Steve O would have been. That's crazy. That fool's still alive. Oh, and then he used to be. That was the other thing. Bam Margera had the dude used to be with Bam Margera died, and then Bam Margera uncle. Was it his uncle or dad that died? That shit used to be funny as fuck. But then these fools got TV shows off of that shit. And then he says Steve O says we'll get in the ring. Steve O was insane. But then explain because he's on drugs. That fool used to do some of the most craziest shit. And the March Summers says Johnny Knoxville says got knocked out by Butterbean. Oh yeah, he did get in the well, I don't think I remember that shit, but I think Butterbean did used to be on there. That used to be fun. Them fools would walk into like a big five or some shit and start fighting. Them fools just stupid, man. And then and the Vlasica says the Mark says facts. And then he says Ryan Dunn. Is Ryan Dunn who died? And Uncle Vito. Yeah, Uncle Vito. Says Uncle Vito and Bam Margera says was gold. Yeah, that shit used to be funny as fuck. That was a little roll off. But the craziest shit, the funniest shit I seen with Jackass was when these motherfuckers, I think it was on that movie. Man, I died laughing. I watched that shit because that's when I was in my enterprise days. When them fools went into a car rental place, rented that fucking car. The fools rented a car and took that shit. They got all the insurance and took that shit. They took that shit to a roller derby or some shit. Oh my god. I was laughing like a motherfucker. They destroyed that fucking car and then brought that shit back talking about we got full coverage. Them fools is insane, man. And then they had the little midget. What's a midget named Wee Man or some shit? That shit crazy how they just giving these type people just TV shows and letting them just act like the craziest fucking fools. And people will gravitate to watching that shit. Cause we already thought like white folks are just crazy as fuck and we'll watch that shit. For a lot of us, that was our only way into like the white world, seeing how crazy motherfuckers was. Even when what's that shit? Like because America's so divided. That's why I go into the white flight shit and all this other shit. There is such an imagination in each other's world. That's why so many whites be entertained by black hood stories and shit and all that other shit. Like we so distanced from one another. Then you get so many whites even nowadays, whites and especially out the South and Midwest who are so caught into being gangs now. The N-word, white kids use the N-word so much. It is so built into into their vocab like a mug. It is crazy. But now it's become what past white generations had tried to do to divide it circle, and they cannot get away from that shit. These white kids want to be a part of that shit. But like I say, we used to get into what was going on in y'all world and be like, y'all motherfuckers is crazy. Even with the Beavis and Butthead shit, like the cartoon Beavis and Butthead, all that shit, man, y'all fucking was crazy, homie. Crazy as hell. But that's all I got on this one. He said them niggas was kayaking in the says in a dry ass dirty creek. And them fools used to do some way out shit on Jackass. I remember the first night that shit came on, whenever they debut. I don't remember all the shows, but I just remember laughing like a mug at that shit. Like these white dudes are fucking insane. And how they didn't die, I do not know. Them fools is fucking nuts, man. But that movie that came out was comedy. That movie was comedy as hell. But the fact that but that's when that was the other thing. Everything used to come on late at fucking night. That shit used to come on extremely late at night. And them fools, Johnny Knoxville and them, were fucking stupid as shit for that shit. Them fools are stupid, man. Them fools is real comedy, man. But yeah, that's all I got on this one. We're gonna do our music show later on. So I'll post in the community what we're gonna probably do all music like we did last time. Hey, Brandon, the jazz shit, man, I was enjoying that jazz shit. When we start off with the jazz shit. That shit was hidden, man. And then we got into what else we got into? 70s music, and then we didn't even get into rap shit because we was talking. We was talking for like what 2 hours on that shit. We didn't get the rap shit playing. But that's all I got. No, we did play a few 80s rap and shit. And then Mark says Chappelle's show says it's around the same time, says all that. Yeah, see, that's when that all that, but see, there was greater shit than Chappelle. Chappelle brought back the old era of fucking and living color, like sketch comedy. But even as good as Chappelle was, and Living Color was way doper than that shit. And Living Color was way doper, but with Chappelle, it brought into where a larger white audience base was watching that shit. That's when, like I said, we all creep into each other's world. And the fact that Chappelle, being most of these skits, he didn't have like feature white stars, of all black cast with Chappelle's show, and touching on these Hollywood stories, but it was like a rebirth of some in living color type shit. And even the way he'll bring the music type shit in there, where that's like a homage to Living Color. But Living Color was so fucking dope, a way of its time. And sketch comedy is just dope, homie. And then Brandon says, yes, I enjoyed it, man. Talking about the jazz show. And even there's some people that do some sketch comedy shows here on YouTube that got great ass content, man. Like the corporate, Big John, them. And a lot of people be doing their own writing and shit. I can't do nothing but respect that shit. And the Mark Summers says Wayne Brady was popular, says on whose line is that says who line is it anyway? Because Wayne Brady was like one of them Wayne Brady was kind of more of how whites feel comfortable by blacks who act like that. That's why when Chappelle brought Wayne Brady on there, he played the role of a character who was on some old gangster shit. And it's like even the one he did with Lil Jon, that shit was funny with Lil Jon, how Lil Jon talks, elegantly and all that other shit. But that's all I got. I'm out of here, folks. Peace, peace. And he says, "Oh yeah, yeah. Wayne Brady do act like Fred Coonthorne. There's no doubt about that shit."